Are the Toronto Maple Leafs about to sacrifice their brightest tomorrow for a desperate attempt at salvaging today? That's the question burning through every corner of Leafs Nation right now. And frankly, it should terrify you, because what we're witnessing isn't just another trade rumor floating around the hockey universe. This is a potential franchise-altering decision that could either rescue this sinking season or haunt this organization for the next decade. Welcome back to your home for unfiltered Maple Leafs coverage, where we don't sugarcoat the uncomfortable truths. Former NHL defenseman Jason Demers didn't just throw a hypothetical trade scenario into the void. He detonated a nuclear device right in the middle of Leafs discourse. His proposal? Easton Cowan for Rasmus Andersson. Straight up, no retention, no additional pieces, just Toronto's crown jewel prospect for Calgary's shutdown defenseman. Within hours, social media erupted. Hockey analysts picked sides. Fans went to war in comment sections. And suddenly, everyone from casual observers to die-hard season ticket holders had an opinion on whether Brad Treliving should pull the trigger on what might be the most polarizing trade proposition of the 2024-25 season. But here's what makes this situation absolutely fascinating from an analytical standpoint. Both sides have legitimate arguments, and that's precisely why this debate refuses to die. Let's be brutally honest about where the Maple Leafs stand right now. This isn't a team flirting with first place in the Atlantic Division. This is a franchise treading water in the middle of the pack, watching their defensive structure crumble night after night, and wondering how much longer they can rely on their goaltenders to bail them out of catastrophic breakdowns. Rasmus Andersson represents everything Toronto lacks on the blue line. He's a legitimate top-pairing defender who can anchor defensive zone coverage with positioning intelligence that prevents high-danger chances before they develop drive transition play with confident puck movement and outlet passes that activate the offense, consume heavy minutes against elite competition without wilting, under pressure provide physicality and edge that this soft defensive core desperately needs. His numbers back up the eye test. Last season, Andersson posted a team-leading plus-minus for Calgary, averaged over 22 minutes per game, and consistently faced the opposition's best forwards. He's not a project. He's not a maybe-in-2 years kind of player. He's an immediate impact defender who could slot into Toronto's top four tonight and make them measurably better by tomorrow. And here's the kicker. His contract is actually manageable. At $4.55 million through the 2025-26 season, Andersson doesn't blow up Toronto's salary cap structure. For a team perpetually dancing on the edge of cap hell, acquiring a top-four defenseman at that price point is practically a steal in today's inflated market. The argument writes itself. If you believe this core can still win, if you think Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander represent a legitimate championship window, then you address your biggest weakness immediately. You don't wait. You don't hope prospects develop faster than expected. You go get the player who fixes your problem right now. Now, let's flip the script and examine why trading Easton Cowan might be organizational malpractice. Cowan isn't just another prospect with inflated junior numbers. He's a legitimate elite talent with the kind of hockey IQ that can't be taught. Scouts rave about his processing speed, his ability to manipulate defenders with subtle movements, and his relentless competitive fire that elevates everyone around him. During his brief NHL stint, he didn't look overwhelmed. He looked like he belonged. Here's what you need to understand about prospects of Cowan's caliber. They don't come around often. The Maple Leafs haven't developed a homegrown forward of this potential in years, trading him for a rental defenseman. Because let's be clear, Andersson becomes a UFA after next season, would be gambling the franchise's future on a present that looks increasingly bleak. The math is simple but devastating. Cowan's ceiling: potential first-line center with elite two-way capabilities, controllable contract for 7 years. Andersson's reality: 18 months of top-four defense before hitting free agency, where he'll command $7+ million annually even if Andersson helps Toronto squeak into the playoffs. What then? Do they realistically believe this current roster construction can survive 4 rounds against Florida, Carolina, or the Rangers? And if they fall short, which recent history suggests is likely, They've surrendered their best young asset for nothing but another first-round exit and a summer full of regret. Let's inject some cold reality into this fever dream. Calgary probably isn't trading Andersson to Toronto regardless of the offer. Multiple reports indicate that Flames ownership remains uncomfortable dealing with Brad Treliving after his departure from Calgary. There's organizational pride at stake, and professional sports executives have long memories. When James Myrtle suggests that Calgary has consistently demanded premium assets just to discuss Andersson, he's signaling that the asking price for Toronto specifically might be artificially inflated beyond market value. Translation: even if Treliving wanted to make this trade, Conroy might demand Cowan plus additional assets just to pick up the phone. That's not negotiation, that's punishment. The uncomfortable truth, Leafs Nation, musts what nobody wants to say out loud, but everyone needs to hear. This team might not be in win-now mode anymore. The Maple Leafs are hovering around .500 hockey. Their defensive structure remains fundamentally broken, and their core forwards are another year older with the same playoff demons haunting them. Trading elite prospects for short-term fixes only makes sense when you're genuinely one piece away from contention. Does Toronto look like a team one defenseman away from a Stanley Cup? Or do they look like a franchise that needs to seriously reconsider its competitive timeline? Jason Demers didn't just propose a trade. He exposed the existential crisis facing this organization. Do the Maple Leafs mortgage their future for one more desperate push with his core? Or do they protect their best young assets and accept that meaningful change might require patience and pain? There's no easy answer. And that's what makes this debate so captivating. Andersson would undeniably improve Toronto's defense. Cowan represents the kind of talent that could anchor this franchise for the next decade. Both statements can be true simultaneously, and that's precisely why this conversation will rage on until the trade deadline passes. So, here's what I need from you. Drop your honest take in the comments below. Would you trade Easton Cowan for Rasmus Andersson straight up? Do you believe this roster deserves one more all-in push? Or is it time to protect the future at all costs? And most importantly, if you were Brad Treliving, could you look Leafs fans in the eye and justify this gamble? Smash that like button if this analysis got you thinking differently about Toronto's direction. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now, because we're bringing you the most unflinching Maple Leafs coverage on the platform. No propaganda, no corporate spin, just the truth about your team. Thanks for watching, and remember, the decisions made in the next few weeks will define this franchise for years to come. Let's hope management gets it right.